when a routine traffic stop turns into a career-defining moment. A police officer's worst assumptions collide with a truth he never saw coming. The man he pulled over holds his future in his hands. The sun was setting over Sacramento, painting the sky with streaks of gold and amber. Eric Porter was driving home after a long day at the office. His sedan hummed softly, the air conditioning cooling the day's tension from his body. The radio played low, a gentle soundtrack to the bustling city outside. As Eric approached a yellow light, he slowed. But the light turned red, and moments later, flashing blue and red lights filled his rearview mirror. The sharp blare of a siren cut through the evening calm. Eric frowned slightly, but pulled over, rolling down his window as a police cruiser stopped behind him. Out stepped Officer Bradley Larson, mid-30s, buzz cut, badge gleaming. He walked up with the confidence of someone used to being in control. "License and registration," Larson said curtly. Eric complied, handing over the documents calmly, his movements smooth and deliberate. But he could feel Larson's eyes scanning him, looking for something. Anything. "Do you know why I pulled you over?" Larson asked. "I'm not entirely sure," Eric replied, polite but firm. "You didn't come to a full stop at the light," Larson said, though his voice carried hesitation. Eric nodded, accepting it, without argument. But something in Larson shifted. This wasn't just about a traffic stop anymore. His posture stiffened, his suspicion growing. "You're not from around here, are you?" "I moved here a few months ago," Eric answered. But Larson wasn't really listening anymore. "Where were you headed in such a hurry?" Larson pressed. "Just going home," Eric said evenly. But Larson's mind was already racing, and not in Eric's favor. The air between them tightened. Larson wasn't just seeing a driver, he was seeing a threat. Eric stayed calm. Little did Larson know. That calm wasn't naivety. It was control. Larson tucked Eric's documents into his pocket slowly, a smug look crossing his face. "Step out of the car," he ordered. Eric's hand tightened on the wheel briefly, but his face stayed neutral. "Is there a reason for that, officer?" he asked. "You don't want to make this harder than it has to be," Larson replied, voice heavy with unspoken threat. Eric stepped out. Larson looked him over, tall, professional, dressed sharply, but none of it mattered to him. "Hands where I can see them," Larson barked. Eric obeyed. "Is there something specific you're looking for?" Eric asked calmly. "Just routine," Larson lied. "We've had some incidents lately." Eric locked eyes with him. "Incidents involving men in business suits? Or is there something else?" The question landed like a punch. Larson stiffened, his hand brushing near his belt. "Watch your tone," he snapped. "I'm simply asking a question," Eric said, his voice still calm, still firm. It was unnerving Larson. "You seem awfully familiar with how this works," Larson muttered. "You got something to hide?" Eric let the silence linger before answering. "No, officer. I just believe in being clear. Transparency, you know?" Larson scoffed but said nothing. He paced in front of the car, tension radiating off him. Eric wasn't afraid. He wasn't rattled. And that threw Larson off balance. "Turn around. Hands on the hood," Larson ordered. "I need to check for weapons." Eric raised an eyebrow. "Weapons?" he repeated, incredulous but controlled. "Do I look like someone carrying a weapon?" Larson's jaw clenched. "I'm not going to ask again." Without argument, Eric turned and placed his hands flat on the hood. Larson patted him down, rougher than necessary, trying to provoke a reaction. But Eric didn't flinch, didn't resist. He remained steady, composed. "You're clean," Larson muttered bitterly. But the real test, for both men, was only just beginning.